Okay, Assalamu alaikum. So this is our week number 10 for non-sequential programming, and in this week we are going to discuss some loop programs and examples. So first of all, some examples on the for statement. As you can see here, for integer I is equal to 1, I is less than 4, plus I. So what is the output? So to get the output we need to trace the loop. So we start with I is equal to 1, sum. As we start, sum is equal to 0. So is I less than 4? Yes. So sum is equal to sum plus I. So sum will equal to sum plus I, which is 1. Then I is equal to 2. Is 2 less than 4? Yes. Then sum will equal to 2 plus 1, which is 3. Then I is equal to 3, and sum will equal to 6. Okay, so the reason why we are putting this example, I know it's the same from the previous week, but here is an alternative way to write the same program. Okay, it's an alternative way to write the same program. So you see here, I less than or equal to 3 is equivalent to I less than 4. Both of them will get the same result. This get character at the end is just there to remove the part where you see press any key to continue to exit this black window. So usually we use it as to remove the values. So here, display all the odd numbers between 1 and 51. We have between 1 and 51. So for integer I is equal to 1, I is less than or equal to 51, I plus equal to. So we want to display the odd numbers. We start at 1 and we increment by 2. So 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13, and so on. And we keep incrementing I by 2 until I is less than or equal to 51. This program will display all the numbers from 1 to 3, 3 down to 1. We start at I equal to 3. I is greater than or equal to 1, I minus minus. So for this program, which is here, number 3, integer a is equal to 2. For I is equal to 0, I is less than 2, I plus plus. What is the value of a? So we need to find the value of a. We start at I equal to 0. Is I less than 2? Yes. A is equal to 2 multiplied by a, which is 2. So a is equal to 4. Then we go back here. We increment I. I is equal to 1. A is equal to 2 multiplied by 4, which is 8. Now I is equal to 2. Is 2 less than 2? No, so we exit and we display on the output A is equal to 8, as you can see over here. Here's another example where integer I is equal to 3, I is greater than or equal to 2, I minus minus. So I need you to figure out what will be the output for this program over here. Here we want to write a program that will sum the numbers between 0 and 50, and that can be divided by 4. Okay, so we need to think about this program and see how to do it. We are going to do it together in the lab, but there are at least 2 ways which are quite simple and easy. I can give you a hint. You can either go from 0 to 50 and do an if statement with modulus, or you can go from 0 to 50 and increment by 4 and sum the numbers. So you can have these 2 options. Using continue statement, write a program that will sum the even numbers between 0 and 50. Okay, that will sum the numbers between 0 and 50. This is another example we can do also together. So over here is an example. We have x as a double, sum is equal to 0, k is equal to 1, k is less than or equal to 5, enter a value of x. If x is greater than 10, continue, else we are going to sum the number of x. So this program will basically ask the user to enter a number. If the number is less than 10, it will sum it. If the number is greater than 10, it will continue. Here the continue statement, as we said earlier, the continue statement, the reason to use the continue statement is basically to skip the rest of the loop. So if, let's say, the user entered 15, is 15 greater than 10? Yes, continue. Continue means we are not going to execute this instruction and we are going to go to the beginning of the loop. We are going to skip the rest of the instruction and go to the beginning of the loop. Here, again, for integer I is equal to 0, I is less than or equal to 10, plus I. If I modulus 2 is equal to 1, continue. If I modulus 2 is equal to 1, continue. Then here we are going to display the even numbers between 0 and 10. Because if it's an odd number, we are going to continue and go to the beginning, and we are not going to display the value. So write out the program that will ask the user to enter any number. Then if the number is negative, we will exit. In order to exit and start an infinite loop, this is an infinite loop. If the number is negative, which is less, the user will enter A. If A is less than 0, break will exit the loop. This one is used to exit the loop, as you know. Another example for continue statement. Another example for break statement, as you can see over here. Now, here is another example. Okay, we can see the different runs. We will discuss this more details during the class. Trace the execution of this program. Now, in order to trace the execution of the program, you need to start from the beginning. So integer I is equal to 1. So our initial value, I, is equal to 1. Is I less than 5? Yes. So x will equal to 0.5 multiplied by x, which is 1. So x will equal to 0.5, and on our output screen we will display x is equal to 0.5. Then we are going to say I is equal to 2 because we are going to increment. Is I less than 5? Yes. So we are going to say x is equal to 0.5 multiplied by 0.5, which is equal to 0.25. And then we're going to display the 0.25. Then we are going to say I is equal to 3, where we are going to say x will equal to 0.5 multiplied by 0.25, which is equal to 0.125, which is the value of x. Display it once more. Then I is equal to 4. X will equal to 0.5 multiplied by 0.125, which is equal to 0.0625, and over here we are going to display this value of x. So this is how you trace a program. If you want to trace the program, you have to take all the values of x. It's quite simple when it is a single loop, but when it's a nested loop, you are going to have some issues with it. So this is the output of our program that we saw earlier. So example, write a program that prints all the integer values between 1 and n that are multiple of 5, meaning evenly divisible by 5. Read n value from the keyboard. So we will ask the user to enter a value which is n. Then we are going to write a program that will print all the numbers between 1 and n that are multiples of 5. Write a program that will calculate the factorial of any number entered by the user. The factorial, as you know, n, or the factorial, let's say factorial of 7 is equal to 7 multiplied by 6 multiplied by 5 multiplied by 4 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 2 and multiplied by 1. So this is the factorial of a number. So we are going to practice and do this factorial together. So this is the program for the factorial, and you can see how it's done. We can do it in many different ways. This one is done using the do loop. We can do it using n loop and so on. So here we are going to ask you to write a program to enter the number. If it is even, we will display even. If it's odd, we will display odd. We can make our program run to infinity, and we want to use the do while loop. We are going to see all of this during the class, inshallah. Here are some examples for two different programs. Here, while I is less than or equal to 3, I is equal to I plus plus. We are going to display this value and uh, repeat this loop for I is equal to less than 3. Here is the same one, but in a different way. And we want to see difference between the two outputs. Again, here are some examples on while and do while. Here is display an integer value between any number. Here is an example of summing the numbers between 1 and 4 in different ways. Okay, so this is basically the what we are going to discuss. So this week is mainly focused on writing programs together. So mainly not much theory, more of practice and practical examples where we are going to write the programs together during the class. Thank you for